Hi everybody, it's Ben Ash from Sam Ash Music with yet another live stream. And today we've got our friends from Shure for the first time, and we're going to be talking about the SLX-D Wireless System. So let's bring on my friends from Shure, Laura Davidson and Corey Willis. Welcome, guys.
Thanks,
Hello,
Ben.
thank you.
Sounding good on those Shure mics.
We try.
I should also make note, because after I brought you guys in, we're honoring Eddie with a Shure-inspired graphic. Graphic design is my passion. It really actually isn't, because if you look carefully, it's
Don't tell him, Ben. Shh, it's brilliant.
I appreciate that. Checks in the mail.
Yeah.
Your passion, I love that.
Yeah.
Passion clearly reflected in this awesome job. Yes.
But all jokes aside, we've got a really cool product, or products even, to talk about. So if you guys know anything about Shure, they are one of the industry standards as far as the most famous microphone in the world. If there's the Fender Strat and the Gibson Les Paul for guitars, for microphones, it's without a doubt the SM58. It is, if you've ever seen a microphone on stage, 99.9% of the time, it's probably going to be that. Every comedy club, every arena, every bar mitzvah. I mean, they're everywhere. And they work great. They stand the test of time. And let alone that, they also make a slew of other incredible products, including wireless. They're one of the bigger names in the wireless game as well, and that's why we're here. We're here to talk about their new SLX-D line, which has a lot of cool features, a lot of ways to mix and match. So if you guys don't mind, before we get into it, I just want to say a few things to our audience. One, ask us any and all questions. This is an interactive show. Laura and Corey are both here to answer your questions about all things Shure. If Laura doesn't know it, Corey does. If Corey doesn't know it, Laura does. If neither of them don't know it, we'll find out. We will find out what that answer is. Also, just saying, we got financing, and many of these products fall into the financing. So call 1-800-4SAM-ASH or visit www.samash.com. 0% interest, 24-month financing on nearly every Shure product above $299. So all those pitches being said, let's get into it. What is the SLX-D? What is so special about it? Tell me all you got on the brain.
Tell you all the things
all
at once. Well, there's actually a lot of cool things about SLX-D, but we have a wide range of wireless systems and options that we provide, that we make available to you, from entry level, super easy to use, all the way up to strong enough to broadcast the Super Bowl without any dropouts on our Axient Digital line. So yeah, right. It needs to be kind of solid for that particular event. But SLX-D is solving a ton of kind of pain points that have existed for many years for people out in the field using wireless. And so we're going to talk about all the things that it brings to you, specifically extreme spectral efficiency, which basically means you can get 32 channels per frequency band, which for this level of wireless system at this price point, it's never been offered. So it's very exciting.
Forgive me for interrupting, because
no.
I know my fair share. I know my fair share about wireless, but there may be people watching. So 32 channels. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, on one frequency. So for those that don't understand, wireless needs a frequency, and if you have two frequencies, that's better because they won't cancel each other out. So 32 channels must mean, correct me if I'm wrong, you can have 32 microphones set up to the same receiver.
No. So to clarify, basically, without getting into too big of a history lesson, the FCC has taken over parts of the frequency spectrum where wireless microphones can operate. Over the past 10 years, it has shrunk exponentially. So it's even more difficult to say a house of worship or a school or a concert venue that wants 10 wireless microphones operating at the same time. Depending on what city you're in, that's more and more difficult now than it ever has been. So with a digital wireless system,
base or near an army base, that kind of thing,
it's more so digital television stations. So as the FCC's taken over areas of like the wireless spectrum that can be used by wireless microphones, the TV stations have had to evacuate that as well, and they've moved into the same areas that we're trying to get wireless mics on at the same time. So we're just fighting the radio waves.
So you're essentially saying these wireless systems, basically, you can rest assured that wherever you perform, you won't have any interruptions or frequency problems at all.
Well, it's a little bit more detailed than that, but with SLXD, as opposed to say a more entry level, say analog system, it's a digital system that allows you to get up to 32 channels per band. So, essentially what that means is that in optimal conditions, you can select a frequency band from Shure. We have 3 with SLXD that cover the entire spectrum in the United States. If you select one of those for your area in particular, then you could get in optimal conditions up to 32 channels online at the same time. Now, I'm sure later once we start talking about the gear, we'll get into some software elements that we have that can further expand upon that. But in prime conditions, you can get 32 mics online with their own frequency and their own receiver at the same time, which is huge. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's like you said, it's great for house of worship. If you have a choir, it's great for school bands, or basically, if you ever see, you were saying the Super Bowl, there are tons of singers on stage with wireless, and it would be very much a hazard if everyone was wired into something while running across a stage. So you need to depend on wireless. So having this option to be able to say, oh, 32 musicians, great, no problem. Here's your wireless. Let's do this. So that's a big improvement. So this is, I mean, granted, you could probably use this if it's just for 1 or 2 people, but if you're looking for a wireless for a larger application with more people, more situations, this is probably one of the better ones out there. Correct me if I'm wrong, if not the best.
Yeah,
That would be accurate.
Exactly, and especially for this price point. But so it's not only thinking about say venues or businesses or what have you that need 10 channels, but if you only need 1 and you have 32 options, that's you don't ever have to worry about going in to get set up for sound check and then you can't find an open frequency, which is becoming more and more of a problem with older wireless systems, like I said, because of the crunch that we're seeing from the FCC for usable spectrum. So like I said, whether you're using 10 channels or 1, it just gives you more options than we've ever had available before for a system like this.
So hopefully that's clear to those that are watching. If it's not, again, we're happy to answer any of your questions here. So feel free to chime in and I'll pull it up on the screen and we'll discuss it. All right, so that's awesome. So are there any other huge features people should know about with these wireless units?
Yeah, absolutely. So something that we've added for SLXD, which we'll walk you through in just a bit, is the guided frequency setup. So once you get the unit home and you're trying to get access to those 32 channels per frequency band, if you want to coordinate it, sometimes it could have been a little bit complicated. So now we've made it really simple to do it right on the front of the unit. And there's also a very simple menu structure. So, Corey, do you want to do your thing here in a second?
Yeah. I mean, we want to jump right into that.
We don't have to, but I mean, that's one of the features, the ability to easily coordinate your frequencies and deploy it right from the front of the unit. So you're not having to dig around in the back and you're not having to dig through a complicated menu. It's all right in the front and easy to access. So that's new. Rugged design, Shure is known for our reliability, our dependability, our toughness, the body packs.
Like with the SM58, you can run it over with a car. Some people have SM58s that are 50 years old that still work perfectly in their studio.
They do.
When you were going to talk our flagship mic, I was thinking I had this paperweight ready.
Oh, look at that.
But I mean, the Elvis mic's there too. So, I mean, and this thing could be run over by a car, I'm sure.
It could.
Fair enough.
It has been.
True. And those are always, I love an SM58. They work great, but those are very stylish.
Yeah, it's aesthetic, right? Yeah.
It's all about aesthetic.
We were talking before the broadcast, and Pete wanted to call me out on this, and I can't argue with him. He goes, how come I'm not using a Shure mic?
I can see that.
The
elephant in the room.
Because it's free. I am a very frugal person. I will invest in a Shure microphone, especially one of the ones they're using, the SM5B.
7B. SM7B.
You have to forgive me.
Ben's making up model numbers now.
The 5 was a model back in the day, but
there was. You have
to understand something. Like I'm trying to learn every model number that exists. Like I was just doing keyboards earlier, and there's like E's and EW's and there's numbers galore and then I'm a guitar player, so it's just nuts. So forgive me if I get one letter or number wrong if I'm ever on these live streams. And then he follows up with, he has an SM7B and it's the best investment he ever made. I mean,
Excellent,
I've seen,
Pete.
I don't know how many streamers with that like huge microphone right here half the time. So yeah, you guys are like, if it's not a USB mic, someone's using that SM7B. It's a great microphone and clearly sounds great. Probably better. I don't even know how I sound, but it cannot.
What? We can't. What, Ben? We can't hear you.
Okay. I'm not going to say what my.
Sorry.
No. It's
sorry, not sorry.
Fun. We're having fun here.
But when it comes to model numbers, I mean, we definitely do have a lot, but there is a method to the madness, and maybe we could use this, Laura, as like a show and tell of what these different models are. Because SLXD is available, obviously, as a combo system. We can go through those. But you know, they're available as combo systems, but we have a number of SKUs available on the Sam Ash website that you can buy a wireless system and piece it together yourself. So
yeah, it's great. It's very piecemeal as far as making exactly what you want. It's not, you don't necessarily, you can get something right out of the box with everything you want, but sometimes you want a very specific handheld and you want a very specific receiver and all those kind of connections. It's fun.
Yes, and we should say too, as we dive in, that's one of the features of SLXD is that you can switch the capsules, which is nice for this level of wireless. Cool. So the legendary SM58 switches up effortlessly to the KSM8.
So maybe let me know if it's something we should wait for or not, but I was curious as far as teaching the customer what is the right microphone for the right receiver, and not even that, but what do the different handhelds do? Because like I was saying before, it's like they all look like microphones. I'm sure they all work the same, and if you bought it would sound great, but I'm sure there are differences as far as sound, frequency, etc.
Yes, there are.
We will get into that.
Whoa! Oh my God, I'm dropping things.
That's all right.
My life.
As you pick that up, I'll just start by saying, so the combo systems that we offer out of the box, you can buy one channel of wireless with one microphone. We have an SM58, a Beta 87A, KSM8, and a Beta 58. So those are four drastically different styles of mics. Laura, if you want to maybe elaborate on what use case,
why, which, and why, and how. Yeah. So basically, when you are checking out your mics, the best way to figure out which mic is going to work for you is to try it. Of course, we're all in a difficult time to do that, but to give you some general guidelines, if you're going to be singing on stage in a noisy environment with a band, then a dynamic microphone with a cardioid pickup pattern, which are two different things. A lot of people kind of think, oh, dynamic, cardioid, hand in hand. Not always. Then something like the SM58 is going to be a great option for you, specifically because this mic is engineered, and this is just the capsule, not the mic, kind of looks like this, which is a Beta 58, is engineered to reject anything coming in from the rear of the microphone, as well as off axis. So if you do sing off to the side, it's advantageous. If you're a musician and a singer, you don't want the whole band jamming down the microphone as well. So that's why using something with a cardioid pickup pattern is very handy. And this is a Beta 58, which is a super cardioid dynamic mic, which you can get as a capsule option. And the advantage to that is that it has an even tighter polar pattern. So if you go off axis, it'll drop that much quicker, which is great for enhancing the sound of the voice, picking up the higher frequencies, especially with the Beta 58. It's got a little bit of a boost there.
If I could jump in there, so that's such a common question is what's the difference between SM58 and Beta 58? You definitely nailed the sonic differences. However, a great rule of thumb for, as an practicing sound person, rule of thumb is if you have a monitor on stage right in front of you, oh my gosh.
That's what I'm just testing the durability in real life.
Let everyone know, by the way, before this, we were concerned that lawnmower sounds would bleed through, and these are the sounds that were.
And instead, we're hearing Laura destroy her microphone.
I was testing its durability.
There you go.
So, yeah. So anyways.
Not a dent on it. Just saying.
that
Just
hard
say anodized steel right there. Okay.
So the best rule of thumb as a performer, a sound person, anyone that's going to be on stage using a microphone with an active monitor on stage in front of you, like a monitor wedge, is SM58. You want the monitor. If you're using an SM58, you want the monitor right in front of you. If you're, say a guitarist who's also singing, or a singer that needs stereo wedges and you have wedges next to you, Beta 58 is going to have more rejection to the sides, so that's going to be better for that application. So once again, SM58 in front. Yeah, go ahead.
I just have to interrupt and say that's mind-blowing for me and probably a few musicians out there. And there's probably some sound guys out there that maybe didn't know that and are now just going to be like, yeah, I knew that the whole time. I've
known that forever. Yeah. Well, there's a method to that madness too, because the supercardioid, the way it's designed, it actually has a little bit of pickup on the rear of the mic. Because it is tighter, it has to have somewhere to go, is how I think of it. But so it picks up in the rear, so that's why you don't really want that to be pointing right at a floor wedge. It's not pretty.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, that's once again rule of thumb. Microphones are dumb. Whatever you put into them, they're going to listen to everything. But that's at least that would help with issues such as onstage feedback, gain before feedback, etc. Is selecting the right mic for your wedges or vice versa. So sorry, I just needed to jump in because that's such a common question. I wanted to.
I'm going to be the salesman and say maybe every musician should have both an SM58 and a Beta 58 just in case of the situation. You never know.
I would agree.
You could.
And with SLXD, you can swap the capsule, so you can have both. You can have both ready to go. Yeah.
Mix and match.
Yes.
Yeah. It's really fun. Because, the 58, sometimes I like to use the 58 if I know I'm going to be at a venue that's just going to be a little bit more unforgiving. But then I can switch over to the KSM8 when I'm feeling fancy. Just
see what I'm curious, and I don't know if you sell this separately, but an accessory bag that just carries the capsules might be a
Shure does not. We do not make one for just the capsules.
I want to say I've seen something or like a Pelican that has pluck foam.
Yes, I don't know that we make it though, do we?
No, I've seen something. I don't.
Yes,
it's not anything that
I think it would be cool. I'm here to say that it would be very cool to see like something that carries your SLXD with the receiver. You have pockets for your capsules. You have where you can stash the body, I guess you would call it. And just throwing it out there, if the Shure marketing team is out there and they're looking for a new idea and accessory.
Thank you, Ben Ash, for that idea.
Hey, it's one
I
more
love it.
we have in our stores. I'm not complaining.
That's amazing.
But
so I cut you off at dynamic Beta 58. So
thanks.
Beta
now
87A
I'm completely
and KSM8
lost.
ready.
Yeah. So choosing different microphones is typically based on application, but also on what you're trying to mic. So we always ask people that, where are you going to be using it and what are you trying to mic? If you're using one for vocals, then we make a large range of that, like this is not the capsule, but the Beta 87A is really great as a condenser mic for stage use, which a lot of people think condensers only for the studio, but it's not. We make several actually that are used for live use. So it's really, again, trying out those microphones. But if you want something that's going to be across the board, fantastic, a dynamic cardioid mic like the SM58 or super cardioid like the Beta 58 are pretty much never going to let you down. So, I mean, we can get really geeky and talk about all the different polar patterns if we want.
Let's do it.
But
look,
I mean,
you're on a music store's live stream. This is literally, if we weren't doing a live stream and we were in the store, we'd be just one guy behind the counter talking about this kind of thing.
Just geeking out for hours. Okay,
well,
right on.
The last option that we make just right out of the box for combo systems is the KSM8. It comes in black, not this nice chrome nickel finish, but it looks like that.
Extreme close up.
But they sound virtually the same, and this is one of the most unique mics that we make.
Yes.
May I ask why?
You may. Yeah. Okay. I was like, Corey, sorry, I just cut you off. But
no,
yes,
go for it.
because of our.
It's very funny seeing you do that off camera because it looks like you're like opening a flask.
Yes,
like,
I am. Actually, vodka. Yes. No. This is all right. So this is why. If you look, I don't think I can get this off of here. At the difference between an SM58 and a KSM8. This is what it looks like under the hood for the SM58.
That's
This
pretty
is
standard.
what the
That's
KSM8 looks
completely
like.
different.
It is,
That's some
because
Star Trek looking stuff.
this
Yeah.
has what's called dual-dyne technology. So it has 2 diaphragms as opposed to the one, which was created, and we essentially took what we knew about designing dynamic microphones and threw it out and started all over again and created this beauty, which solves several issues that dynamic microphones are prone to, specifically the proximity effect. So proximity effect is when you get up on a microphone. If you've ever noticed, it gets boomy and bassy. That's because of a buildup of bass frequencies. So this actually virtually takes that away and eliminates it completely, just because of how it's designed and how the audio flows into the mic and out of the mic. And I wish I had that cool diagram that we have that shows how it actually works, but it's essentially deflecting those frequencies in a very new way, and also has an amazing sweet spot. So we talked about off-axis rejection, and when you're using a dynamic microphone with a cardioid pickup pattern, one of the benefits is that it picks up what's right in front of it. Well, with KSM8, you have the option, if you're not the best technique-wise with your microphone technique, this is going to be
noted. It's not just like people
yeah,
think you just hold a microphone and that's it. But if
yeah.
you've ever been to karaoke night, it's a whole different thing
right
if you're
here.
like a close singer like this or not.
Yeah.
Or
And
someone
this is
down
my
here.
this down here, like, hi, this so House of Worship applications, if anyone's tuning in, get a KSM8 now. Okay. Because
Education, yeah.
yes, if you have somebody who's trying to speak, like someone's eating the mic 1 minute and then putting it down here the next minute and then doing this, which is my PSA for the day, do not
So it's a front of house
the
guy.
mic. It's not a handle. Okay, this is not a handle.
It's
Sorry.
unlike any mic out there, and it's very, very consistent. Like,
Yes.
yeah.
But
So
you don't have to play with levels with that microphone because of
not
what
as
you're
much.
saying.
It's made to make sound engineers' lives tremendously simple. And Jake just asked an awesome question. Sorry.
Yeah, let's pull that up.
Yeah, he asked a question, is SLXD compatible with any headsets? And I just happen to have one plugged in right here.
Like he's reading our minds.
Look at
it's
that.
compatible with any current Shure headset with a either it's referred to as a TQG or TA4F termination. So it's a 4-pin mini connector. The only other style that we make would be a LEMO, and that's our very specific applications. But almost every current Shure headset will work with SLXD.
Yes.
Very cool. I just meant to ask about the last microphone.
Yes.
One thing I noticed is there's a lot of like heavy metal guys will sing with the mic really close. Would that be a good microphone or a terrible microphone for their situation? Because I don't know if they're doing that to get more bass.
Yeah.
That's well, it definitely excellent point. It with the KSM8, because it's so specific, it's going to make singers have to rethink their technique a little bit.
It totally does. That's a great point, Corey. Because when the first time I tried one, I was like, wow, it gave me almost like this weird inner ear experience where I was not used to being able to be as flexible with the mic as I am with the KSM8, and it's awesome. Once you try it, there's no going back.
Cool.
And just a small little final asterisk on that, Mike. So it was something that one of our archivists, company historians, found they found the patent in a box as they were digging through some old stuff in our HQ in Niles, and we're like, wow, they weren't able to make this back in the day. I want to say it was the 50s. Don't quote me. And they ended up bringing that back and being like, okay, it's a new century. Let's try to make this thing. So this is born from the classic era of Shure when microphones were being invented, literally brand new things all the time, and this was one of those. And it's something that in a new century, like I said, they were able to actually make. So not only is it extremely unique, but it's got a pretty long lineage for sure, despite it being a newer mic. So.
So, Laura, I'm curious about the headset, and maybe you could throw this thing in. Is Jake's just saying he uses an SM35 with a VLX, and he would love to upgrade that at some point. So maybe you can address that while talking about the headset.
Yes, the SM35 is a great headset, really durable and rugged. It's perfect for fitness applications. We just launched this guy yesterday, the Duraplex.
Full screen, yes, so people can see.
Yeah, so this is, let me take this off. This is our latest and greatest for our headset microphones. And it's got some cool functions and features. Specifically, it's highly waterproof and dust proof. So if you're doing anything wild and crazy, this is going to be kind of a good mic to take
Yeah, if you're
along with
setting
you.
up a storm, if you're
If
doing
you're in a dust storm, if you're yes, navigate or what did one of our
now, if
reps
you
said?
guys get into full waterproof and you start doing things like for aquatics instructors, that'll be a game changer.
That would be a game changer. Yes, it's quite waterproof. I wouldn't
I
say
mean,
to go
that's just
swimming with it,
basically
but
a wire with a microphone on it. It's wild.
yeah. And so this is cool because it has the same cable that comes from our Twinplex line of headset microphones and lavalier microphones. And the cable is what we call basically memory free. So it doesn't get kinks or coils. It stretches right out. It's flexible. It's highly paintable. So if you wanted to change the color, it comes in a number of color options and in
Cool.
this headset form factor or lav form factor. So yes, you can, Jake, upgrade your SM35 to something like the Duraplex or any of our other headsets and use it with SLXD. That was a
Or
long-winded
you
answer.
can buy an SLXD system and use your SM35 with it if you already.
Exactly. You don't have
And
to
that's with
throw
all
that
these
one away.
combinations. That's what's great about it is it's not you don't have to buy the full set unless you want to at samdash.com or in stores, but you can mix and match. I just want to keep reiterating this to people who are listening, who are just coming in, because that is useful to know that you don't have products that go obsolete. You could have these products forever. And so the idea that you can buy this wireless and then if some new piece of the product comes out, you could probably more likely implement it into your current setup, which is fantastic.
Yes.
Exactly. That's so we've talked about the different capsule options, and we've talked about them from a standpoint of, we've held up wireless handhelds and wired handhelds, and I think an excellent point to make with this digital wireless system SLXD is that it's being that it's digital, it's got a 20 hertz to 20K frequency response or frequency range that it's able to operate in. So meaning that it essentially sounds like you have a cable plugged into your wired microphone. So whether you can, be in the studio recording with a KSM8 and then take that same sound on stage with a wireless mic, and you can expect the same frequency response that you're getting from that capsule from wireless to wired.
So that's outrageous. So to explain that to people who don't understand frequencies and hertz and all that stuff, the human ear can only hear so much. And so when you're plugged in, you get pretty much that. But there are many wirelesses out there that because you're transferring a sound across the waves, like think when you talk on the phone, it doesn't sound like you're talking to someone in person because only certain frequencies can go through the airwaves. So you're suggesting that while some wireless are like, well, we can't get all the highs and lows, you could still hear it. You could then have to start playing with the soundboard to make it really sound great. Again, sound engineer's dream. We're basically saying here's almost a near full frequency range. So again, it sounds like whether you're in the studio or you're recording an album or something, you go on stage with the same microphone and the sound guy goes, wait, are you plugged in? No, you're not plugged in? Oh, great. So I just have to sit back and just do volume, basically. So that's a beautiful thing. And it's funny. We went from selling it to customers, and now it's like we're also selling this to sound engineers who need this for their venue or whatnot.
Yeah.
So look, we're all the venues are closed for now, knock on wood and all that jazz, but you should probably acquire this so that when these places open up, like I heard Irving Plaza and Webster Hall are redoing their facilities. So if anyone from Webster Hall or Irving Plaza, you may want to consider a wireless like this. So these are really great options for the consumer or the sound engineer who wants the clearest frequency response as well as the range. So far, you basically are banging on all cylinders. It's affordable for what it has. It comes in multiple options you can mix and match with. The capsules are mix and matchable, so you can get the exact type of sound. We've learned that Beta 58s are better if you have monitors on the side, SM58 if the monitors are in front. I'm just trying to reiterate this for people watching. And now we're getting into the headsets, and I mean that's like the thinnest headset, so it should feel like nothing on your head while
it's really comfy. Yeah.
So fitness people, get on this. Sound engineers, consumers, get on this. It's some great stuff.
We also make, so there's also a combo system available that includes a handheld, a body pack, and a lavalier with just one receiver channel. So that's great for customers that, we keep going back to the house of worship or education. It's just what's top of mind right now. But in a situation where you need a handheld sometimes or a lavalier sometimes, we have a system that includes both of those. Now, it's worth noting that they only work one at a time. So it's either or, but it includes both. So it's a more flexible system that includes, like I said, lavalier or a handheld option all in one box. So that's just an option that we have available as well to add to the flexibility of that.
Awesome. Really, that's awesome. So we've talked headsets, we've talked microphones, we've talked that you can mix and match them. So what I'm curious, we haven't really discussed the packs. Can we talk about, is there any new improvements on the pack as far as the invention of it itself, how it works with the digital applications for this wireless? Who's the customer that needs a pack? Do you need a pack regardless? And even, you know what, I'm going to talk on behalf of myself. How does this work for musicians as far as people who aren't singers? Can you use these products? How do they work differently or the same?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely. If you don't mind me jumping in on this one, Laura, just because I have the pack handy here. So this is a brand new design. Oh, you got yours. This is a brand new design from Shure.
I also have one.
Yeah.
Ben's feeling left out. I'm sorry.
So basically, a few things that are noteworthy about this particular wireless pack that are unlike anything we make. The only pack that this is very similar to is our ADX1M, which is our top tier wireless. That's the only one that comes even close to this particular design. So this is very derivative of that. This particular one, though, you'll notice that the connector's in the center. So whether you're right or left-handed, wearing it on either side, the cable's not going to get in your way. So that's added flexibility. It's also threaded. So we mentioned our twin-plex microphones, headset and lavalier mics that we make. This actually will allow you to thread your connector onto there, so it's not going to get pulled out, accidentally. In addition, for the musician side of things, our instrument systems that come with a receiver, this body pack, and an instrument cable for guitar, for bass, etc. Those will come right out of the box with a premium Neutrik connector, gold-plated Neutrik connector with a locking threaded collar here. So when venues start opening up again and you want to go do your guitar solos while you're crowd surfing, it's not going to get pulled out of the pack on accident. So
perfect.
And but in addition, buttons are nice and out of the way. They're located on the side. This is the little sync window, which we'll get to in a second.
And if you're body surfing, no one's going to be pressing the buttons unless they have
and you can lock the power, you can lock those buttons out too. As an engineer or as a musician yourself, you can lock them so that they don't get pressed on accident. The last safety feature, which is really cool, is that the back actually is where the battery door is. So most of our other packs, it's on the front. You see people gaff tape them shut, electrical tape them shut, whatever. But yeah, it's located on the back, and it's got a nice little, I don't know what you would call that, restraint.
I just love it. It's like a little rubber band that's your friend for life, because it's not going to fall off, because that's happened. It's not fun when that happens.
And they don't put it on enough remotes. I'm just going to say that. I don't know why these I've got Fire Sticks, and the back's just falling off.
Is gone.
Yep, exactly. So this is to help prevent that, and the battery door is then securely located in the clip. So wherever you have it clipped on, it's being pressed against that.
You guys really mentioned think of everything.
This one really has all the bells and whistles. We're not even close. I don't know if we're going to be able to finish in an hour, but so you mentioned musicians and in talking about the instrument systems, just to kind of call back the frequency response of this system. This is excellent for bass players as well, because it's got the full range frequency response. So 20 hertz up to 20K, you don't have to worry about your low notes getting rolled off if you want to be a bass player that goes wireless. So that's another thing for instrument systems. We also make a combo system with a Beta 98. That's like a horn mic. So it's great for saxophone, anything brass, woodwind, or accordion. Is an accordion a woodwind instrument?
Oh, that's a fun question.
I know. I've never thought about that before.
What would it be?
I think it would be woodwind because it's got reeds.
If anyone in the chat has an
throw that in
accordion,
there. Come on, accordion players.
That's like saying is a hot pot. What's the thing?
hot dog a sandwich.
Yeah, it's a hot dog sandwich.
I was gonna say a hot pocket. Oh, that's a whole.
A hot
other
pocket
thing.
is not a sandwich.
Burrito.
Hot
No, it's a hot pocket ravioli. That's what I.
Oh wow.
What? Oh God, no.
It's
Is it
gone too
ravioli?
far.
Okay.
Yeah,
But so that's the body pack. Yeah.
That's the body pack, and yeah. Should we talk about the batteries while we're
yeah.
Why not?
Dun, dun,
Rechargeable
dun,
IC.
dun. Yes.
And how long is the
Rechargeability.
charge?
They last 8+ hours on the body pack.
Great. So if you are basically the only band that has to be concerned about that would be Fish, because they're the only band that I think plays for longer than 8 hours.
Yeah.
But other than that, you should be perfectly good with 8 hours to rock out or play or sing.
Yes.
So yeah, no, that's great. For those that are watching, because some of these things we can't, not that we don't want to, but at Sam Ash Music, you don't have an hour to just sit and chat about this.
No,
so
this is
I'm glad you guys are here to tell us all these little nuances, especially because you guys are the ones that are behind the production of them. So you do know the subtle nuances.
Yes, Corey and I made them in our basement.
I didn't want to guess. Who knows?
Yes.
Judge. Everyone has so many skill sets in restaurants. And you know what?
And passions too.
And passions.
Yeah, exactly.
Graphic design.
Yeah, there you go.
Top. Yes. So yes, we have a whole new battery for SLXD. So that's kind of worth mentioning, as well as the new charging station and dock, which you can charge the battery itself right in the dock, or you can put the whole body pack with the battery in it into
That's
this.
crazy.
Or a handheld.
Or a handheld.
So we don't have to get out of town with this. You don't even no, this is nuts, because and I'm not even talking about music equipment.
Ben's
Everyone has a
excited.
charger, and it's like a cable that you got to put in its own bag, and then you got to make sure you don't lose the battery that's in the port. Like camera stuff is just the worst with that.
Yeah.
So camera companies, start listening to Shure. Sure that they will be thrilled if you take at least the idea of multi receiver type things. Like if you can charge a battery in the camera, and like with the USB it's a pain, but this is awesome. It's great.
Another cool feature about this charger too is that the moment you I'm trying to get this in frame here, the moment you drop the mic down in, it automatically, and whether it's the body pack or the handheld, it automatically mutes the wireless transmission. So you don't have to worry about if, like, we keep referencing engineers. That's just where my headspace is. But whether you're an engineer or musician, you're walking off stage and you can just say, drop the mic right in the charger, and it's muted. You don't have to worry about being at the board.
Front of the band and not worry if the band's going to hear them over the entire sound system.
Yep. And pick it up out of the charger and it's live. So, I mean, it's incredibly easy to use. And you can't really see it. We're not going to be able to show it, but there's 2 little LEDs essentially that give you like a charge warning, either, ready for use, charging, which is a flashing red, or, if there's for some reason an error, it's not in there properly, it's a flashing yellow. But yeah, you can see, Laura, you need to charge that up. But yeah, just a quick reference LED.
I would say she left it uncharged so you could see the red light and the yellow light.
I did.
Everything.
I'm always thinking. Dropping things and thinking.
So, and I don't know if we're going to get any questions in the chat about this, or perhaps, anyone that's viewing this after may have this question, but, our other digital wireless systems, QLXD, ULXD, utilize what's called an SB900 battery. This is a new one. It's very slippery for SLXD. The reason why we went with this is because it's actually almost half the cost of our other batteries for other wireless systems.
To the end user, not just to Shure, but to you guys. Yeah.
So I mean, it's easier to upgrade to this with SLXD. So not only are you getting a lot of digital benefits from this system as opposed to, say, a BLX analog system, but you get the rechargeability and you get it for half the cost as you would for a more higher tier wireless system that we make. So that's the reason why we don't make batteries that for the SLXD that work with QLXD. It's because they're cheaper, easier to upgrade, and way easier to have backups and whatnot. So
cool. Yeah, no, you guys are truly thinking of everything at Shure. with like it's you. And I want to explain to the customer, because we try not to talk about numbers, so to speak, but uh, if you find that the price of any of these is daunting, because look, we went through a bit of a recession, there's pandemic, and you got to put money to certain things. But what I'm noticing is if you divide it up, like if you take, say, the SLX-D 24D with the B58, that's probably the most expensive thing we have from this line. And but if you broke it down, you're getting two handhelds, you're getting a very awesome serious receiver again, and it's the fear of obsolescence. You shouldn't have that. So you're buying this and it'll pay for its, especially if you run a venue, it will pay for itself and then some, for as long as you have it in good condition. Like as long as you don't throw it against a brick wall, you'll probably use this for 20 years and it'll work great and crisp. And that won't seem like such an expensive number. We all think of numbers as like, oh, I spent this much, but and like food, you eat it and it's gone. But these kind of things you have to consider, okay, how much use I'm going to get out of this. And one thing's for sure, we've been working with you guys for so long because you have such a trustworthy product. You have a product that customers keep coming back for, keep upgrading for, keep getting additional pieces for, because you're an industry standard as a company, let alone with any specific product. So I'm saying this, and I'm not trying to be, and I try not to be biased, but it's hard not to talk great about Shure, seeing as everybody has seen a Shure microphone of some kind, and you guys make great stuff and reliable stuff. And if for whatever wild reason it doesn't work, we take it back and we can do a full exchange, refund. But you guys are so sure of your excuse. I keep saying it. I don't know how you guys.
It's tough. It's really tough.
Honestly, when you first join the company, you think about it all the time, and then you don't think about it anymore. So
because
you're all good.
Forgive me on that. But in all seriousness, you guys have it together, and you guys offer a wide range of products that anybody can find what they need. And even in the SLXD line, you guys, I'm just gonna screen share. This is if you look up SLXD, this is, and forgive me if it's not, every version of here, I'll do that. This is our website. You can see all of these products on our website. I mean, if you're watching this video in 5 years, I can't promise the same will be true. But at the moment, on October 22nd, 2020, these are all the products. And see, you got different types of handheld transmitters. You can just buy the receiver. There's even this for a rack mount unit, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Oh, that's the dual channel. That is the receiver. Yep.
Yeah. So you mentioned the SLXD 24D Beta 58 being, one of the more pricey options. That includes that one rack mount receiver. That's 2 channels in one rack unit with 2 microphones that can be used, that can be operated simultaneously. So that's a 2-channel system in one rack unit, which space savings is key.
Yeah. And when we say 2 channels, I think, Corey, sorry to interrupt.
No,
it is important to, that's equal to 2 microphones, essentially, if you're thinking about it that way. Or 2 body packs.
There we go.
Sorry. Okay. Go ahead.
So yeah, they can be used simultaneously. And then you'll see the little antennas sticking up back there. Another cool feature of this dual receiver is that, just at a very basic level, all of your wireless microphones, you want to essentially have on a shared pair of antennas. Sometimes that requires additional accessories depending on what wireless system you have or how many channels you're looking for. With this system, that one rack unit has one shared pair of antenna ports. So that's going to be huge, especially if you're talking about upgrading to, from 2 up to 4 up to 6, 8 channels. With being that those share a pair of antenna ports, your accessories for upgrading your antennas are going to be half the cost as other single channel units. So
yeah, I see that. Bringing up that there's actually 2 receivers in this really makes it worth its price. That price, it can be daunting, but again, I keep saying this could be the first and hopefully last wireless you'll ever need in your life. And you have 2 receivers in one unit, which try looking for any 2 wireless systems and having all the features you've explained.
Right. That's the key. The features that you're getting with SLXD are unlike any we've ever put into this level of system before. So that's why we're so excited about it.
So do those also have the charging port as well that you showed just before?
Well, that's a separate unit.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
That's the
so-
SBC 203. That's this guy.
So regardless of that, what I'm seeing from that is that you get 2 handheld transmitters, which alone are pretty expensive if you just get a handheld transmitter, because again, it's supposed to last you forever. You have 2 receivers in one. You have that crazy huge frequency range so that you sound crisp, whatever you're miking, regardless of the situation, as if you're plugged into with a cable. So come to think of it, if you are a band, again, when things open up, and you want to make a live album, this might be the microphone you want to use, because if you want to mix it in the studio, you don't want to have to figure out how to create those frequencies that are gone, that just flat out didn't exist. So if you want that audio quality of, I was in the studio, but it was really a live album, this is a good option for anyone who's trying to record that live show. So especially if you're that kind of singer who's running around stage and jumping in the crowd, there you go.
Right.
So,
Definitely.
there you go.
Now you mentioned, that we definitely pulled out all the stops with this system. We thought of literally everything. Part of that, which we touched on at the beginning, is how easy it is to use, how easy it is to set up, and not only from a wireless standpoint, but also from an audio standpoint. Things such as gain staging are very important. And even if you know nothing about either of those things, or whether you're a seasoned vet at setting up a wireless system, this one's going to be incredibly easy to do. We can do a quick demo of that.
Yeah, I think we should do that, because the frequency coordination is really a game changer.
So Laura, am I going on your screen?
Yeah,
or?
go full screen, but we're going to go to Corey real quick here.
So Corey, what is gain staging for those that don't know?
Well, we'll get to that, but let me, I'll go ahead and run through. So this is what the menu looks like on SLXD. You can scroll through and you can see various, information, your group and channel, frequency, or your name that you can customize yourself. So that's pretty cool, pretty standard. If you click into the menu, we've got frequency setup. We've got channel name, once again, that label. There's gain, which we'll come back to that and talk about the gain staging. Mic and line level, which is switchable in the menu, not on the back, so you don't have to go digging through. Scary advanced settings, which we'll come back to, and then help section. So if we could, we'll back out, pressing exit. All right, so let's go into the guided frequency setup menu. I have a few options here, but we'll start with guided frequency setup. If we click into there, so we have initialize my system or add receiver to my system. We'll pretend we're setting this up for the first time. Click initialize my system. Tells you a group scan will find the best group of channels to use. So great, pretty straightforward. Press knob to continue. Now it's going to ask you to turn off all of the mic transmitters you have. Cool, they're off. And we'll go ahead and start a scan. This is looking for good open frequencies in the area, in the venue, what have you. So scanning, it found 3 receivers connected, and it found 24 frequencies available. So we'll go ahead and assign, and we have all these connected with an Ethernet switch. So if we do that, it flashes, and it essentially pushes all the frequencies, good frequencies, to all of your connected receivers. There's the IR sync window, and we're going to go ahead and just wirelessly sync that frequency up to this body pack. Line it up here, hit sync, boom, it's synced up. That body pack is now connected 517.925. It's now connected to this receiver wirelessly, 517.925. So say we want to add another receiver to our system. We had 2 channels, we want a third. Well, we go into add a receiver. It's asking to turn off the transmitter, or sorry, to turn on your existing transmitter. So the body pack we just did, it's on. Cool. So it's avoiding that frequency now. Now it's asking to turn off the transmitter you're about to add. So the new mic you just bought, turn that off. And we want to make sure it's the same group number, which I'll explain in a little bit here, on all the receivers in your system. So with this one, we can see it's group 1 here. Cool. So we want to push knob to continue. And it's set to group 1, so we can just start a scan. But in case we wanted to, we can scroll over here and change it to, whatever's necessary. In this case, it's just group 1. But there's 20 groups. So starting a scan, boom, it found a good frequency. We're going to apply that. That saves it. And just as we did before, we're going to sync up the transmitter. This time it's going to be a handheld. So we'll grab a handheld here. and hit sync, line it up. Success. Great. So now that microphone's connected to that receiver, and we've just added an additional channel to your wireless system that's going to play nice with all the frequencies you already had. So now we'll get to the fun stuff. So the gain staging. Hey, 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 check, 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 check. Okay, we want to get it to that optimal level. Hey, 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 1, 2, 2. You can obviously overload the mic. You don't want to do that. It's clipping. You could have too low of a level. We want to get it right there in that optimal level. So that's going to help, whether, you're a sound person or, you're just hooking up one mic and want it to sound good. We can switch the mic and line level here right on the front, depending on if you're running into additional rack gear or what have you. We've got advanced settings, which we'll come back to, and we have a help section. So this is great. It's got a QR code that if you scan with your phone or mobile device, it goes right to a Shure SLX-D manual, and you can tab through any information you need. And it's also got a nice little URL there for some additional help. So if we go into this advanced menu, we've got a device lock, so we can lock the receiver out if you don't want anyone messing with your settings. You can lock the menu and power, so no one can shut it off mid-show if you happen to walk away. We've also have network configuration, which is essentially you can network all of your receivers together, and you can deploy frequencies as you saw at the beginning of this video. And then controller access. So you can do third-party controls such as AMX or Crestron. You just click allow there. Transmitter presets. So you can actually set this to push any of these settings here to the transmitter. And once you sync it up, we have a device preset. So you can actually save all of your settings, gain, channel, etc. You can save those as a device preset, which is very, very cool. Let's see here. What else do we have? Okay. So if we want to go into the manual frequency setup menu here, and we want to, program our frequencies ourselves, you'll note it says full range there for 1, 2, and 3. So we also have a multi-band group. That's going to be groups 4, 5, and 6. And I think that's the end of my demo. I'll go ahead and explain that. So at the beginning of this call, we talked about how important it is to have a higher channel count when you're
with the
going,
squished spectrum.
with our FCC coming in and taking away a lot of the area that wireless microphones can operate. We mentioned the number of 32 channels per frequency band. We actually make 3 different frequency bands for SLXD, and I'm trying to do this without getting a little too wordy. Essentially, so that's 32 per band. We have a G, H, and J. If say you're in Dallas, which is one of the most difficult places to get wireless on, if you buy a G, an H, and a J, 3 channels, you can set them to those multi-band groups, either 4, 5, or 6, and they will play nicely with each other. So with all Shure systems, if you set, say I have a G band microphone and I go set all my microphones to group 1, they will not interfere with each other whatsoever. With SLXD specifically, we've never had this for any system before. You can do that same thing to where your mics won't interfere with each other across all 3 frequency bands for this wireless system, thus giving you an even higher channel count than that 32 maximum per band. Obviously, that's region and location dependent, but it's just even more channel options that you have, and it guarantees that your mics are going to be talking nicely with each other and not interfering with each other, which is, once again, specific to SLXD and just adds to that 32 number and takes that even higher. So, like I said, it's a little wordy. I'd be more than happy to answer any more detailed questions.
Yeah,
right.
absolutely. If
that's
watching,
important. That's important too.
You don't understand, by all means, ask questions. And if you miss the show, you can still call us at SamAsh, either 1-800-4SAMASH, samash.com, go into a store. And I should also mention, I'll mention at the end, but you can reach either of us on social media. Sorry, this is where Corey gets blocked out a little bit. But you can
Nobody puts Corey in the corner. What
there
the
you
heck?
go.
Yes.
You can follow both of us if you just search at SamAsh Music or at Shure. We're on Instagram and Twitter, where you can ask questions, know about updates. We're also both on Facebook. guess how you find us? Go in the search bar, search Shure or Sam Ash Music, and guess what? You'll probably find one of us, if not both of us. But yeah, so we're here to help. We don't want to confuse the customer because we want to make sure this is the right wireless for you if this is something you're interested. I think it's definitely the right wireless for many people, if not everybody. Because
it definitely is.
I want to talk about the demo because it was, although it seems daunting if you've never done a wireless, you showed how effortlessly it is to sync things, just as far as syncing a microphone, syncing multiple wirelesses together, multiple receivers together. And I like that, like a little glitchy thing, so you know which ones are the ones that are getting tethered together.
Yep.
And so that's what's great is everything you purchase in general as a musician should be ease of use for you. Some people love to challenge themselves with some crazy gear. This, obviously, if you really want to get crazy with it, I'm sure you can get into those advanced settings. But from right out of the box, it's very easy to use. And if you didn't get it the first time through, guess what? We've recorded this whole thing, so you can rewatch this and see steps over and over and over again to go, oh, that's what they did. They clicked this button. They did that.
In addition, there's a help section, so you can just scan that. It brings you to the manual, gets you a quick start guide on how to get it set up for the first time.
I mean, that's great. I keep saying this phrase, and I should just have like a pull string where it's like, you guys think of everything. You guys think of everything.
We try.
It's true.
But wait, there's more. Yeah.
But wait, there's more.
There is, though. If you want to learn more, there are also courses you can take. So, if you're wanting to dig into wireless as a concept, we have something called the Shure Audio Institute, SAI for short.
Very cool.
So yeah, you can take quizzes and stuff and learn about wireless as a concept because, maybe when Corey said the bands, you're like, what the heck does that mean? Like my band? It's like, no, the wireless band. So you actually have to look in your area to see what's going to work. And like this tiny little number right there is going to be the band that, they all have to be the same. So your transmitter and your receiver bands have to match, and you need to figure out with your professionals at Sam Ash which is going to be the best fit, where you can have the most available channels /mics /instrument body packs available based on your geographic area. So you actually put in a zip code in our wireless frequency finder to determine where you're going to have the most wiggle room. And you want to go for the one that says, like, it'll say how many max mics you can add to the system.
And most importantly, if you already have a wireless system, the worst thing you can do is buy this and find out you can't use both because they're blocking each other out. So you want to make sure when you call us or you come into a store to find out, I want to get a wireless, first, if you have a wireless, get all that research. Say, okay, it's this frequency band, it's this, it's that. I'm using this product, this brand, what have you. So when you buy an SLX-D, you don't bring it home and go, oh no, now I got to drive all the way back, or I got to ship it back or something like that. We want you guys to be so sure that this is right for you. So we at Sam Ash Music are always there to help you guys find what you need. And Shure, of course, is here to help you find the right Shure product, because they have, like I said, there's a lot of the SLXD products and packages and whatnot, but that's just the SLXD line. Shure does it all when it comes to microphones, whether it's dynamic or condenser or packs or wireless, or it doesn't matter what it is. There's probably a Shure product. They even have some fun like portable interfaces, the Motive series and stuff like that. So if you're a musician and you need to record your sound, I bet you, if you go on samash.com and search, yeah, there you go. Each of them have one.
Yes.
I bet there is something for your needs. If you're a singer-songwriter, if you're a live performer, if you're a fitness instructor, some way to record something. Doesn't matter what it is, whether it's a vocal, whether it's a guitar, whether it's an acoustic or electric guitar. Doesn't matter. Shure probably has that product. And I'd be stunned if you found something they didn't have a mic to record with. Like, I bet you guys, like, we were talking about accordions. I'm sure you have accordion mics or something that can be used for.
We do.
Weird Al uses the Beta 98.
He does. He totally does.
Okay, I'm not speaking my life. Let me. 5 seconds, literally 5 seconds.
Okay, great. I love this.
Oh gosh, what is it? If he gets an accordion, I'm going to be really like sad if he didn't know what type of instrument it is. How
I bet
do
it's
we
a
not
Weird
know this?
Al, like a signed
One of my
photo. Oh my gosh.
What?
Now, wait, hold on.
What?
Is the box set? Is that the box set?
Is it the box set? Let's see. Yeah, it's the box set.
What?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
It's amazing. This thing is so cool.
Oh.
I am.
And it's a literal
What?
accordion.
Comes
Oh,
That
amazing.
is
I mean, yeah, and all
amazing.
the records. I'm trying
I'm
to be delicate.
stunned.
All the records are in here.
Oh,
So when you just said
wow.
Weird Al uses Shure, I mean, if you're a Weird Al fan and you're a musician, why aren't you playing with Shure products?
There you
So I just
go.
had to show this off because I don't usually have an opportunity to show off a fake accordion filled with records in it.
Yes.
So
I
love
went to
it.
the Strings Attached tour
I did,
last year. It was great.
Amazing.
bet it was great.
Yeah.
I bet it was amazing. Actually, I have to thank you guys at Shure because one year he came to the NAMM show and I was like a kid at the show and I said, I don't care what I have to do. I have to meet this
I
man.
have to meet
Thankfully,
Weird
I have
Al.
a signature from him. I got a picture with him.
Aw.
Nicest,
Dang.
and he is the nicest guy.
Yeah.
Yes.
If anyone in the world has something bad to say about this man, I will fight
Take it up with Ben
I will
because he will
fight
cut you.
in the middle. I'm willing to risk coronavirus to fight that person who has
Oh my gosh. You heard it here, folks. Where has this live stream gone? Oh man. Wow.
That's
It's
what
been an
happened.
hour. How
Yeah.
has it been an hour, Ben?
Time has flown. I'm looking through if there's anything that we
All right, so
missed.
wait, let's just recap. So high channel count is available in for a great price point. You get high frequency response or impressive frequency response, wide frequency response. That's the word I'm looking for. I have
Full
no
range of human
words.
hearing.
Range of human hearing. It's digital, so you don't have any of those artifacts that people have been plagued with for many years. The simple use, guided frequency setup that Corey walked us through, really durable design, number of form factors, handheld, body pack, head worn, instrument, accordion, and then also the receiver types, single and dual channel options, lots of flexibility to build and add multiple systems without a ton of antenna distribution or management, and the rechargeability. I think I got everything.
That's a lot. And I should also reiterate that we want Shure to come back for another live stream. So yes, this is about
Let's
the
do it.
SLXD line, but I'm saying we're happy to have you guys to talk about anything Shure. Whether
How about the new one we have coming? We have something
Oh.
exciting coming. You should check out our socials because
There's about to be a drop
I
soon.
mean,
boom. It's gonna blow your
socials?
mind.
see,
Check the socials.
if you follow Shure on Twitter and Instagram, right there,
That's that.
you'll know about these really cool products. It'll be great. So
Yes.
I'm excited to have you guys back. This was a lot of fun. And look, that's the thing with microphones. There's so much to talk about. Even if we wanted to do a show about the science of microphones, what's the right microphone to use for what setting?
Yes, we have a whole presentation about that. That's what I normally do. So let's do that. That'd be
You
fun.
guys have it all together. And so I mean, we covered a lot of bases with the SLX-D. I'm trying to be incredibly biased or unbiased, excuse me. I'm trying not to be biased.
Intentional bias.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, we sell a lot of
Okay.
products, but as far as someone who doesn't know a lot about wireless, I only heard, as you all heard, incredible things about this wireless system. And there's pretty much every question you may have about a wireless or concern, they've got it situated. Look at her. That's the face of a happy Shure owner right there.
Yeah.
And I
Well,
bet you
that's
would
awesome.
be a fan and want that regardless if you were wearing the shirt.
Yes,
Yeah.
the shirt is an added bonus, but no, it's great. It's an
So
amazing system.
I just want to say a few things before we wrap because I think we've covered everything. I hope we answered all of your questions, whether you've literally asked or were just wondering. All of these products are available at samash.com and in store. And basically any way you can shop at Sam Ash Music, you can get these products. I would like to reiterate, since we are on the topical spectrum of things like coronavirus, that we do have all of our stores open except Queens because it was mandated to be closed by the area of Queens and Cuomo and all that stuff. But other than that store, every store is open. We are practicing every hygienic, sanitary thing possible. Before you pick up something, we wipe it down. After you pick up something and put it down, we wipe it again. All surfaces are being cleaned. All our staff is wearing masks. We require you to wear a mask. If you, for some reason, choose not to wear a mask, we can't allow you in, but we will offer curbside assistance. Also, if you don't feel comfortable going near or in a store at all and want to stay at home, call us at 1-800-4-4-SAM-ASH, www.samash.com, and you can get any of these products. We will also help educate you on any of these products. We can tell you what Shure products you have and what would go great with it. And also 0% interest, 24-month financing. So if any of those numbers, like I said, are daunting, there's a good chance you can get it with the SAM-ASH credit card. So I would definitely recommend applying for that. And additionally, if you can't get the SAM-ASH credit card for whatever reason, we also offer other payment plans. Definitely inquire if you are curious. Other than that huge spiel, is there anything else you two would like to add on behalf of Shure?
I would just like to add, thanks for sticking around with us. I mean, I've seen some solid numbers up here, so
Yeah.
thanks for watching and hanging with our silliness. And my 6-year-old just walking in, because that's the joy of working from home.
That's what this is about. That's all
Yeah,
right.
I also want to say thanks. This was fun. I'd like to do it again. Like you said, we make a lot of stuff, everything from podcasting to conferencing to wireless, everything you need. So we'd be happy to come back and talk about
Thanks for having
any
us,
of those
Ben.
things.
Awesome. Very cool. Very awesome. Again, Laura, Corey, thank you guys so much for taking the time to do this. Thank you to all of our SAM-ASH customers for sticking around, watching, rewatching this, and being a great SAM-ASH customer. And hopefully, if you're not already, a Shure customer as well. And on that note, everyone have a great week. We'll see you next time. Take care.